Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Dari Girivara Dari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Dari Vallabha Girivara Dari Yashodanandana Brajajanaranyana Nandana Brajajana Yashodanandana Brajajanaranyana Nandana Brajajana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe Radha Madhava Radhe Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gaur. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya. Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Gaur Premanande, Jai Om Vishnupad Paramam Parirajakara Stotra Sutta Srimad Divine Grace Abhay Charanarvinda A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramam Parirajakara Stotra Sutta Srimad Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananda Koji Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Gaur Premanande. All glories assembled devotees, all glories assembled devotees, all glories Shri Guru and Gauranga, all glories Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam ततो जयामुदीरये नश्रप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः. Hare Krishna everyone, thank you very much for coming to Bhagavatam class this morning. We are reading from 10th canto, chapter 38, text 25, correct? Yeah. Okay. Padani tasya khila lokapala kirtajushmala padarenu Dadarsh goste kriti kautukani Kalatasya abhaja yavana kushadhai Padani dasya khila lokapala Kirtajustmala padarenu Dadarsh gorshe kriti kautukani Valakshayanti abja yovana kutadadai Padani dasya khila lokapala Kirtajushmala padarenu Jushmala padarenu Dadarsha goshe kriti kautukani Vilakshayanti abjayovana kushadai. Please chant. Padani tasya khila lokapala Kirita jushta malapadareno Dadarsha goste kriti kautukani Vilakshayanti abjayavana kushadai. Somebody can try. Padani tasya khila lokapalam Kirita justmala padarenum Tadarsha goshe kriti kautukani Vilakshayanti abjayavana kushadai. Okay, you want to change? Okay. But nitasya kila lokapala Kirta justmala padadarenu Jadarsha goshte kiti kautukani Vilakshayanti abjayavana kushadai. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, I'll repeat word to word meaning. Padani the footprint. Tasya of him. Akhila all. Loka of the planet. Pala by the superintendents. Kirtaha upon their crown. Justa placed. Amala pure. Pada of his feet. Renu the dust. Dadarsha he Akrura saw Goste in the cow of pasture. Kirti the earth. Kautukani wonderfully decorating. Vilakshayanti distinguishable. Abja by the lotus. Yava Balcon. Anushka elephant god. Abdaya and so on. Translation and purport by disciples of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. In the cowhead pasture, Akrura saw the footprint of those feet whose pure dust the ruler of all the planets in the universe hold on their crowns. Those footprints of the Lord, distinguishable by such a mark as the lotus, balcon, and elephant goat, and made the ground wonderfully beautiful. Translation. He saw the footprint Padmani, marked by Anushka, etc., which were cause astonishing of good fortune to the earth. Kriti Kaustukam. So there is no much purport. I'll just read another one. 26. Increasingly agitated by the ecstasy at seeing the Lord's footprint, his bodily hair standing on the end because of his pure love, and his eyes filled with tears, Akrura jumped down from his chariot and began to rolling about among those footprints, exclaiming, "Ah, this is the dust of my master's feet." Purport by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Seeing those footprints with exclusive tears in his eyes, Anushkram Kala, he jumped from the chariot. He rolled in ecstasy in the dust of the footprint while weeping. With a crooked voice he said, "What a fortune to attain such rare things." Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjanam Shalakaya Chakshuralmitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaham Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pastyatya Deshatarini Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhayeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anandakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. So today we see that Akrura ji, when he arrives in the Vrindavan, It is description of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. It is elaborately described by the Srila Jiva Goswami and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Sanatana Goswami. We see that in the Krishna book, Srila Prabhupada has written how one should enter in the Vrindavan. In the Krishna book, Srila Prabhupada has written that we should just enter Vrindavan, just buying ticket and go to Vrindavan, take darshan. No. In the mood which we have to enter, that is very important. Similarly, in the devotional service, in the what mode you execute devotional service, that is very important. If it is the mood is proper and the attitude is proper, then the devotional service will be success. Otherwise, if it is a mood is not proper, even though you do any services, it is not in a proper mood. It is not in a proper way to execute devotional service. I would Srila Jiva Goswami has given elaborate description of the footprints, the same thing. And he entered, like when Akrura entered the Vrindavan, he just saw the footprints and he described this is the way one can attain pure devotional service just by taking darshan of lotus feet of Lord Krishna. And it is there are in the lotus feet of Krishna, there are details are given, lotus and Balikon, elephant goat, and there are many things, Sudarshan Chakra, and if you see the lotus feet, there are great details. I did little bit research on that. So I'm just going to read what is the symbols of those lotus feet. If you see the conch shell of the lotus feet, if you while meditating on the lotus feet, when you see the conch shell, that indicates the victory in the devotional service. Not in the devotional service, at the same time, it indicates the devotion. It indicates the victory in the devotee's life, whatever he does. If you just meditate, close your eyes and meditate upon lotus feet of Krishna. I was thinking, what is there to meditate on the lotus feet of Krishna? And before joining ISKCON and after joining ISKCON, they told that this is a conch shell and these are all the marks which we see. By seeing, not only by seeing, we cannot understand anything. By reading, by going into the details, we can understand much better. So, thank you for all the glories to our Vaishnava Acharyas. It is only all glories to all the other Sampradayas also, but only in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, the details are given more. Like Krishna's anklets are described, Krishna's lotus feet are described, Krishna's flutes are described, and everything it is given in very, very, very details, so that we can hear more about the Lord and love more about the Lord. Gee, if you don't know about the person, how can you love that person? That correct? So if you know more about that person, you can able to love more about that person. Similarly, if you know more about Krishna, you can love more. And I'll describe one by one. First one is, if you meditate on the conch shell, you will achieve victory in your life. And if you meditate on the flag, the security protection for the devotees coming all the dangers in his life. And if you meditate on the fish, like a fish cannot live with the water, similarly devotees cannot live with the lotus feet of Krishna. As long as the fish is in the water, fish can survive and it can live happily. Similarly, as long as devotee meditate upon the lotus feet and various symbols of lotus feet like conch shell, fish, flag, and especially fish, then always you'll feel that blissful in the mind. And if you meditate on the god, which drives the elephant, then your mind will be controlled. The most of the devotees we find difficulty in chanting. Prabhu, my mind is always, I also complain, my mind is always not in chanting. While I was chanting Hare Krishna mantra, it will goes everywhere. It will never come back on mantra. One mantra, we heard many seminars, many japa retreats, but I think this is a good tool in my sense. Like how elephant controls just by god. Small iron rod, the person who controls the elephant. and it will, if he asks you to go to right, it will go right. If you go ask to put left, it will go left. And if you punch one thing, it will sit there. So similarly, how the big elephant is controlled by a small goat, similarly our mind is like an elephant. Krishna, Arjuna says, Chanchalai manai Krishna pramati balavadradam tasyam nigram vane vayureva shudushkaram. In the 6th chapter, Arjuna says that, oh Krishna, I can able to control the wind, but I cannot able to control my mind. So this is a very good tool, that just by meditating on the elephant goat, which is on the lotus feet of Krishna, easily you can bring mind under control. That is another thing. And if you meditate on the barley corn, you receive the all enjoyable opulences by serving the lotus feet of Krishna. That is another thing. And if you meditate on the lotus of Krishna, lotus feet of Krishna, in the lotus feet of Krishna there are various symbols like conch shell, chakra, and the fish, and the barley corn, and the lotus. You see lotus also. By meditating on that lotus, will always be fortune and successful. So these are all the details of the lotus feet of Krishna. So this is the in depth I gave the information. This is the very important information, but we need to know the details. When we know the details, we can able to appreciate more. If you just say, okay, meditate upon the lotus feet of Krishna, okay, that is good. But in the lotus feet of Krishna, you see the various symbols. That is also more important. What that symbol represents, how we should meditate, and what is the benefit of meditating of the lotus feet. It's like Akrura, as soon as he saw the lotus feet of Krishna, he immediately felt ecstasy, and he jumped from the chariot, and he was crying. That may not happen to us. Immediately when we see everyday lotus feet of Krishna, we see, we serve, we devotees, and it may not happen to us, but this is a process where it going to happen. This is a Krishna consciousness movement where it is saying step by step it is going to happen. Like every day chanting 16 rounds, every day coming for Mangalarti, every day doing all the following all the regulative principles. If you do all those things, then it will happen. I'll just read the what Srila Jiva Goswami describes. Because he soon entered Krishna's area, he saw the footprints. The glory of his footprints described, because the foot dust destroyed all contamination of samsara, and it is employed on the crown of the rulers of the planet. Since he was seated on the chariot, how could he see Krishna's footprints in the evening? That is a good question. Like we walk, it is understandable in Vrindavan, in any area, just if some person walks, and there are many people also walks in the same path. Why, how come only Krishna's feet are visible? And whereas the cowhead boys have walked, and the calves have walked, and cows have walked, and many animals have walked, but only Krishna's lotus feet, how it reserved and is described here. Mother Earth kept those friends explicitly as an ornament and the spontaneous manifestation to the eyes of the devotees. So this is a beauty. Like as soon as you see if you see the lotus feet of Krishna, Akrura immediately felt that this is the lotus feet of my master. He immediately recognized, because it is hardly to recognize in the dust of the Raja, because there are so many animals were walking, and it is a very fascinating that no animal would, any animal, if there is a cow or any animal or any person or any cowhead boy, any elderly person did not step on that lotus feet. How astonishing it is. So that is the beauty of Krishna consciousness. So when Akrura saw this, he immediately understand this is footprint of my master. So immediately he offered obeisances to the lotus feet, and he began to cry in ecstasy, and he began to offer his prayers. because this is the symptoms of the pure devotee of the Lord. And he claims always that I am not a pure devotee, I am just serving the cruel king Kamsa. And this is the humbleness. And what we will see what Srila Sanatana Goswami writes. He saw the Krishna's footprint in the pasture nearby, outside of Raja. Soon Krishna would leave the forest, enter in the cow pasture of village. He had a rare opportunity. He saw the beautiful, pure Amala dust, devoid of even the desires of liberation, which are the rulers hold on their crown for the very reason. They see him from the far off and offer respect with great devotion. Since he has seated on the chariot, how could he see the Krishna's footprint in the evening when the Gokula was getting dark? Since those footprints were mixed with the footprints of many other cowherds. Those footprints made the earth joyful, which is called Kriti Kautukam. The earth kept those footprints expertly as ornament and a spontaneous manifestation to the eyes of the devotees. Srila Sanatana Goswami also says the same thing, that he reserves that earth, Mother Earth reserves the lotus feet of Krishna very, very much dear, and so that devotees may take darshan. So that is very true. Whatever is dear to us, it is a natural tendency that of a human, whatever is dear to us, we somehow or the other try to protect that, even though it is very, very hard to protect. The problem is that if we should like it. If you like it, you will do it. It is said, just do it. No, just do it. It doesn't work. If you like it, you will do it. Somehow or the other, if you, it is very difficult. For example, you know, festivals nowadays, the festival mode coming Janmashtami. It is very, very difficult to arrange a crowd, arrange the prasadam, and arrange all the other things. It is very, very difficult in one sense. But if you like it, you will undergo any kind of difficulty. The problem is that if you don't like it, even though it is very, very easy, you don't do it. To like that, we need to, how we can like? By reading the scriptures. How we can like? By serving the devotees. How we can like Krishna? By doing the devotional service. It is by rendering a devotional service, you will feel that blissful in the mind, blissful in your life, just by chanting Hare Krishna mantra. Maybe not only one chanting Hare Krishna mantra. There are 9 process of devotional service: Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Vandanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. It's 9 process of devotional service. If you attached any one of the process, you will like to do devotional service. Or if you like all the process, that is also like devotional service. You will like it, even though if it is very hard, even though it is very pandemic situation, even though still you carry on, because that rasa is given by Rasaraja, Lord Krishna. Because you serve any number of person, either you serve the society, you serve your boss, you serve your family, or you serve your family members, or you serve anybody, you don't feel that satisfaction in your life. Only by serving the Supreme Lord, you will feel satisfaction. That satisfaction leads to take any kind of risk, any kind of austerity. That is the driving. You see, in a Krishna consciousness life, from time immemorial, Srila Prabhupada also told that this Krishna consciousness movement was started by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by inaugurating chanting holy name of the Lord. From that time, even before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, till now, we see that the same mantra, Hare Krishna mantra, is being chanted. There is nothing new in the process. The same Hare Krishna mantra. If you see then the Vrindavan around the Radha Kund, Sham Kund, there are many saintly persons. They chant only Hare Krishna mantra because there is a rasa in that. Srila Prabhupada has given, you might have heard many, many lectures. And Prabhupada said, if you chant water, 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 you don't get water. If you chant John, 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 you don't get taste. But if you chant Krishna, 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 you will get the taste. You automatically that develops in our consciousness. Like every day we chant the same mantra, every day we do the devotional service of the same deities, every day we read the same scriptures, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. It is not this year we are reading Bhagavatam, next year Bhagavatam 2 version is going to come. No, but the same thing, it is not like phones, not 12 came 13, iPhone 13, iPhone 14. No, it is not, because that doesn't have a taste. Why people they release each and every year new things? Because something they want newer. Even though we get a newer, but that doesn't have a satisfaction. But we see these scriptures, holy name, Rajat, Bhumi, and devotees, Bhagavatam. It is the same thing, but we get the taste. How? Because the Krishna consciousness is a real, and Krishna consciousness is a pure, and this Bhagavatam scriptures which gives with real satisfaction for the human life. Because why Akrura, he has to take a risk all the way coming from the kingdom of Kamsa and jumping from the chariot and offering obeisance to just lotus feet. It is waste, because he felt that even though he was serving in the cruel kingdom of Akrura, of Kamsa, where the kingdom where there is no Krishna consciousness practically, in the Kamsa's kingdom. We see in the Ravana's kingdom, Vibhishana was practicing Krishna consciousness, but there is no Krishna consciousness there. As soon as he saw Lord Ramachandra, he heard Lord Ramachandra is coming, he immediately tensed, immediately triggered himself, why will I go and surrender? There is no Krishna consciousness. There is no favorable atmosphere for Krishna consciousness in the kingdom of Ravana, in the kingdom of Kamsa. And whereas in the kingdom of Dhritarashtra, Vidura was so Krishna consciousness, there is no Krishna consciousness in his kingdom. Still he surrendered. That is the when, because my point is that even though unfavorable atmosphere, even though unfavorable people, still they practice Krishna consciousness. Why? Because they love it. They like it. Not only love it, they like it. That's why they practiced. So we should also like it the process. If you like the process, if you should like the nine Navavidha bhakti of process, any of the process, when we will do any kind of austerity, even though it is very hard to perform. Just like it is very difficult for us, to follow the process. But sometimes we feel it is very boring, it is very monotonous. But okay, but we should adopt any one of the process. Okay, you don't like, sometimes our mind says we don't like to chant. Okay, hear some nice nectarian katha of Srimad Bhagavatam or any stories from Maharajas, and then you will get inspired to chant. My point is that one's consciousness should follow, or one consciousness should drop in any of the 9 processes of devotional service, either Shravanam, starting from Shravanam to Dasyam. Any of the processes that one has to follow that consciousness in the one of the 9 process. Then all other process will be followed. Like we cannot imitate like Ambarish Maharaj, that he did practically everything. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Archanam, Vandanam, everything he did. But we may not do it everything. At least if you do one thing, it will be successful. Like Prahlad Maharaj, he did only one thing, his life is successful. Akrura Maharaj did only one thing, his life is successful. That one has to get these 9 process a taste. It is not that something we are adopting from external, like in okay, this we don't have this software in our laptop. We need to adopt from the outside, and we need to install the software. No, it is already there in the Krishna consciousness in our heart. But what we need to do is just churn it out. How we are churning? Chanting, hearing, doing devotional service. This is the process. When we adopt any of this process, and we can able to sustain the devotional service. And another point, Srila Jiva Goswami mentioned, Sri Sanatana Goswami mentioned in the 26th, 25th verse, he saw the pure dust that Brahma and Shiva holds there on the crown. Somehow they obtain it and worship it, and it is a most rare. He directly saw the footprint of the dust. He was more fortunate than the Devatas. He compared himself with how fortunate he is. Like he was fortunate, even the Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, all the other demigods. Because these demigods, they don't get easily lotus feet of Krishna. Because somehow or the other, he grabbed it, he wanted to worship it because it is the most rarest of the rare. That is the beauty of his lotus feet. When you find something rarest of the rare, if you find a what you call a diamond on the street, which is rarest of the rare, and you know the value of the diamond, and immediately you will protect that, right? Immediately, there is no second thought. Oh, what will I do with this diamond? There is no second thought for that. Immediately, you grab that diamond. Immediately, you understand is the value of the diamond. Immediately, start worshipping that diamond in one sense, keeping in some sacred place in the locker and keeping safe so that nobody comes and steal. So for the devotees like Akrura Ji, for all the other pure devotees, these lotus feet are more than the diamond because they know the value. Even Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma are not an ordinary human beings. They are the greatest of the demigods. They are powerful and they can destroy the universes. Lord Shiva, if he gets angry, he destroys the universe. That is the we may think that okay, what is a big deal if he destroys the universe? We just think one small disease, it shut down all the human being. Coronavirus, it shut down all the human beings. Stopping from going out, stopping from me socializing, stopping from going traveling. It stopped from all the kind of thing. Just small digest. Still, it is going on. Yeah, so it is there. the uh, Imagine if the universe is destroyed, what kind of havoc it will be created. Just tsunami and all other things. Just small disease is enough to stop the human cycle. Similarly, and Brahma can also destroy. He created, he's the engineer of the universes. He just created the universes after doing severe austerity, because it is very very difficult to create this universe manifest. There are tattvas and also material elements. He needs to know how, what ratio, what needs to mix, then only the ahankara will manifest and what ratio what it should mix, then only mind will manifest, and all the things which is very very difficult. It doesn't understand to our subtle mind. It is very very subtle and it is very very difficult to understand. Only Brahma could be able to do it. That Brahma, for him to get the lotus feet of Krishna, it is very rare. We just saw that if you ask to do some create like arrange the festivals or arrange a Vyas Puja for Guru Maharaj. It is very very difficult to get the things from here to there, and we need manpower, we need money, and we need so many people support. We need to plan how to decorate. It is just for 2 or 3 days festival decoration. It will go lots of energy, lots of manpower, lots of money. And after that, if somebody says, oh, this decoration is not at all good, then you'll feel so bad. It is a waste. You feel disheartened from your whatever you have done. But imagine how Brahma he did, and even though he did his best Still, gopis got cursed. What kind of creation you did? You put the eyes and you bring the eyelids. For a 1 second, I cannot see the Lord. This is a useless creation. Still, Brahma got cursed. He got chastised. He got feedback that you are not a good creator. But Shiva also, he destroy. He is a controller of the mode of ignorance, and he always merciful to the demons. One demon, he asked the blessings from Lord Shiva that whomever I put my hand on the head, that has to be. His person has to be practically killed, or that has to be broken in number of pieces, 10,000 pieces. When he got that bone, he tried to put his hand on Lord Shiva himself. He want to test that bone, and Shiva has to run. But that bone is very powerful. It work on anybody. It work on himself also. Then at the time, Lord Vishnu came into picture, and somehow or the other he tricked that Lord. He tricked that demon, and the demon eventually died. So these are all the most powerful demigods. They did great task, Herculean task, but for them also it is very rare. So that's how this knowledge is known to the Akrura Ji. Then he eventually surrenders unto the lotus feet of Krishna as soon as he saw. And we will see the what text 26 says. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, seeing those footprints with excessive tears in his eyes, he jumped from the chariot. He rolled in ecstasy in the dust of the footprints of while weeping. He choked his voice. Nayanam jaladashudaraya vadanam gadgadara. That's the symptoms where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, chanting the holy name of the Lord, he says same symptoms, almost similar symptoms Akruraji also experiencing. What fortune he attained to rare things. Eyes, tears are flowing from eyes, and voice is choked up when he chanted the holy name of the Lord. Srila Jainam Goswami comments on this verse. He was in a state of agitation in which he could not carry out a necessary inquiry. Thus he rolled among the footprints. Faces out of prema should be repeated for all the faces. Because of prema, he was agitated with the joy. Because of prema, his eyes filled with the tears. Because of prema, he rolled in the footprints. The word aho expressed the rarest of seeing those footprints. The word iti indicates that the whole last line was Akrura said. So because of love, he did all those things. Because of love, his eyes were filled with tears. Because of love, he rolled on the ground. And because of love, his mind was agitated with joy. Because of love, he's experiencing all the symptoms. So, Akrura was a classic example that how one should take the process of devotional service, how one should serve the lotus feet, and how one should serve the devotees, and how one should serve the holy places, how one should visit the holy places. Because we may not be experiencing all the symptoms as Akrura expressed, but at least we may, by reading the scriptures, by hearing Krishna Katha, we may develop those symptoms while entering the Vrindavan, while entering any holy places. Just read before going to any holy places. Just take a Krishna book with you and read this particular chapter of Akrura entering Vrindavan. This pastime, when you read this pastime, you will appreciate much more than what you are. Not only Vrindavan, if you are going to Puri, or if you are going to Mayapur, or if you are going to any holy place, this is a mood how we should enter any holy place. Akrura is showing a classic example, that we should not think that, oh, I'm totally qualified, I'm perfect devotee to enter any Vrindavan, any play, any holy place. We should not be in the mood. We may think that, oh, I've practiced many years of devotional service, I have done so much austerity, I have done so much chanting, I have read so many scriptures, I know what in and out is there. We in that mood we cannot enter. It is said even Lakshmi ji did not get access to Vrindavan. She has to perform many yugas of tapasya, austerity. Then only she got entry in Vrindavan. That is, Lakshmi ji is not an ordinary person. She always doing pada sevanam. You know, when you see the Lord Vishnu lies on the casual ocean, she always pressing the lotus feet of Vishnu, and she did not get access to the enter into the Vrindavan. Imagine, because she person who's doing always pressing the lotus feet of Krishna or Vishnu, that person hasn't got the entry. Imagine whatever the situation of the others. That is the situation of Lakshmi Devi. She did not get access, but we got an access by mercy of only of Guru and Gauranga, our spiritual master's mercy, our founder Acharya's mercy, our God brother's mercy. By that mercy, we are able to enter Vrindavan. I know many devotees, they got ticket for Vrindavan, and at the last moment, their ticket was cancelled. At last moment, when they're about to board in the train, their ticket was, I mean, somehow or the other, some emergency came in their life, or something happened in their life. They dropped the yatra. Not only Vrindavan, whether it's Jagannath Puri or any holy places you visit, we should be very humble in our heart. Just going to that holy place, read about the pastime or read about that place, then you will be able to appreciate more. Otherwise, it is only just like a eye exercise. We should have, eye exercise means just like we do body exercise every day, yoga or exercise, anything. It is only eye exercise for our eyes. You just go there and you see, oh, what is there Vrindavan? Oh, nothing. Old buildings, lakes, and some peacock feathers which are attractive, and some people chanting. And apart from that, we will see other negative part also. Negative. Oh, there is so much dust there, so much garbage around there. Behind the temple, I saw so much, prasadam were thrown out, and so many people are splitting on the wall, and that can. The temple is in not good shape, and in the temple there are so many bats and the poops. You only talk about this after coming from Vrindavan or any holy place. You don't talk about the deity, you don't talk about the people there, you don't talk about the play pastimes there. You just talk about, oh, this is not, we felt so inconvenient in the room of Vrindavan or any holy place. There were so many mosquitoes biting me. The toilet was not clean. We only complain this because we don't see the real Vrindavan, real holy place. One time, Russians, it is happened in Mayapur. Russian devotees first time they visited Mayapur, and at that time there were so many Russians first time they visited, and they were appreciating very much. I know they are appreciating the deities, they are appreciating the devotees, they are appreciating the places, they were appreciating the kirtan there, they were appreciating prasadam there, and one devotee saw that there are so many mosquitoes in Vrindavan, sorry, in the Mayapur, biting them. The Russians, many foreign bodies, they don't used to have mosquitoes. Indian bodies, they know mosquitoes, and they were habituated to mosquitoes. And one Indian person asked, one Indian devotee asked, "Do you know there are so many mosquitoes? You don't feel uncomfortable in the night, and you don't have even mosquito net also?" Then the devotee replied, "It is very good that these mosquitoes are biting, and they are taking our bad blood, and when we taking prasadam, the good blood is generating in our body." This is how they appreciate it. It is very good that these mosquitoes are taking blood, our contamination blood out of our body, and we are getting good blood. How? Every day we are eating prasadam. So this is the mood when you really love it, when you really like it, that place and that holy dham. And in that way, even though it is bad things, even though circumstances, place may not be favorable, may not be uncomfortable, where still the rooms are not clean and toilets are not clean, still you appreciate the higher taste. As the Russians did, even the night, all the night the mosquitoes are, in Vrindavan, sorry, in Mayapur, the mosquitoes are very, very big, and they have huge, what you call nail, what you call the pin, like a point. It will pierce, even though you have a tight, thick skin. It will pierce in as an injection, and it will suck the blood. There's a very big mosquitoes in Mayapur. Whoever visited Mayapur, they might have experienced. Now it is like very, they are taken care of. But in many, many years ago, it is like a very, very big mosquitoes. You cannot tolerate that mosquito. When he bites, you will be totally disturbed from your sleep. So those kind of mosquitoes, even though biting and not getting proper sleep, still they were able to enjoying that holy place. Why? Because they like it. So even that's how we should do whenever we visited any places. We just read the pastimes of there and just appreciate, and you will be you don't caught up. You don't get caught up in the little uncomfortable things in your life when you go to holy place. Otherwise, if you don't really read the dham glories, if you don't read that appreciate, if you don't read, if you know really don't know about the dham, what is the significance of place, then you will really caught up in the small things. Oh, I didn't get prasadam, or there were so much uncomfortable, there are so many people around me, and there's so many people where my phone got stolen, my slippers were stolen. You'll be caught up on small things. My gamcha got stolen, or there is no room for the bathroom, there is no space. These small things caught up. When you caught up in these small things, you lose higher things. The glory of the deity and the place, the holy place, what is the significance of holy place, you will forget, because you caught up in the lower taste. The higher taste also are almost lost. That's why when you go to the place, you should really appreciate the higher taste. We should not caught up in the lower taste, like these small things, which will happen because it is naturally our mind is always find the fault. Always, if it is everything is clean and good, still our mind says, oh, this is not clean, this is not here, this should not be there, this should be not there, because the nature of the mind is like that. So that's why we should go along with the devotees, our Guru Maharaj, our spiritual master. Then you will be not caught up in the small things. You will be appreciating.